Alright, what's up gamers? Thought I'd make another Time Rift video for your enjoyment and edification today. So today we're going to do Time Rift 5-7, final battle. It's the finale of Chapter 5, obviously. You have to kill Jessica, Lana, and Liana. It's the last stand of the Descendants of Light. It's very, very tragic. So with any luck, we will get the win the battle within 10 rounds and won't lose any heroes. Sometimes we lose one. Sometimes the catapults can get a stun on you, and that will delay cleaning up the trash mobs and may keep you from the 10 rounds. But this method, even if we don't get it today, we should. With any luck, we will. But even if we don't, it'll. This is how you get 10 rounds. My strategy is a little bit character specific. I have Landius and Matthew, but everyone has Matthew, and there are other characters that can fulfill the role that I have for Landius as kind of a tank hybrid. But let's go ahead and go into the map. Try to spend less time talking about this. So, as you see, that's the 3 final bosses. All these 3 are healers, by the way. Well, sort of. I think only Liana has like mass heal, like a for that kind of heal. But both Jessica and Lana have Holy Word, so they can all heal each other if you're not careful. So. You know, the story, we'll skip it, but Lana and Liana, their former boyfriends, namely Leon and Elwyn, respectively, have turned to the dark side, and so now they're very sad about that. Whatever. Alright. So I already have my team set up, I guess. Yeah, that looks good. So let me talk a little bit about the map. I won't spend too much time, but your team is split up. These people here, these 2, will need to be self-sufficient enough to where they can take care of cavalry and catapult, and this cavalry here. So a Lancer tank is pretty good for that. One thing to be aware of: the tank you have over here. Well, this is an infantry right here, and the way I do it, I have this tank take a hit from this full strength infantry when we pull the bosses, and so they will need to be sufficiently sturdy to do that. Obviously, if you outlevel the scenario, that will work. I haven't really all my characters are level 49. This is a level 48 scenario, so it's more or less level appropriate. And then these 3, they will need to take care of these trash mobs over here before coming and joining up over here. Here's the interesting thing. Like, most of the trash mobs are physical damage. In fact, they all are. But the bosses are all casters. But you need to build your team in order to take down the boss, right? Or in this case, 3 bosses. And then since the bosses are all casters, you want melee DPS. Melee damage because that's the best way to take out casters, is to just punch them in the face, basically. So that's why we have cavalry, infantry, and a flyer. Technically, she's melee damage as well. I mean, she's the minuscule amounts of damage that she does is Freya does is physical, but it's a non-factor as far as the boss. But she's helpful taking out these cavalry and protecting Sherry from the catapults. Like I say, these catapults have a stun. It's 20% chance. So typically they will only. This one will shoot once, and this one will shoot once, generally, and most of the time you'll have one or no stuns. So if you get stunned a bunch, then yeah, you get delayed a lot. And you won't get the 10 turns. But regardless, this is the method for getting 10 turns, even if you get unlucky with the stuns. All right, enough blabbering. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and do this thing. Alright, so Landius, like I say, he's sort of a hybrid tank. He struggles with being able to take a lot of damage if he doesn't have a faction buff to sort of beef him up a little bit. Freya can roll without a faction buff, but he really needs a faction buff. And he has one of his own he can cast, but I don't like to have tank carrying a faction buff also, because then they just spend the entire battle buffing themselves, basically. Or, well, at least they spend more than 50% of the turns casting buffs on themselves. So, Matthew has a faction buff that benefits Landius, benefits himself, obviously, and also benefits Almeida. So, that's pretty good synergy. And it's like, yeah, that's character specific, but everyone has Matthew and Almeida. Not everyone's leveled them up, I guess, but oh well. Alright. So we move her up into the danger zone. He will guard her. Equip the infantry guy. Puts up his guard. And he also will get United Will. So United Will, if you don't use Landius very much, if you notice me using him sort of oddly, United Will only activates if he ends his turn standing next to an ally, and by next to it has to be right next to. But it gives him attack and defense, which is useful because he's essentially a damage and tank hybrid. So both of those are useful for him. So we want to let him have United Will as much as possible. And one other thing United Will does, it lets him counterattack at range if somebody attacks him from 2 squares away. Usually these catapults they have a higher range, so they will. That usually won't be a factor with them, but sometimes it's a factor in the boss fight. So Matthew, you want to cast your fusion buff after everyone has moved who benefits from it. It's like getting a free turn, if possible, you know. So we will deal with these people. Sherry will stay where she is. Have Freya stand here. You can stand her here, stand her here. I want to be here because that will get me a little bit closer to this. Well, I will be moving slowly because I get movement debuffed by cavalry. But the cavalry will hit Freya, but the ballista will move up and not hit. You say, well, that ballista is clearly within range. Just wait. Like most cavalry, he has ram. Most, knight type characters. And you see the ballista didn't shoot because ram pushed Freya out. Push Freya out of range of or I should say catapult, not a ballista. Alright, so here again, the order in which you do stuff matters in order to keep United Will up, which we will want, because probably the most heart attack inducing part of this fight is when this full strength cavalry hits Landius, who may or may not be at full health. When he will actually be slightly damaged. Um, and he survives it. Well, the way I have him, he'll survive it, but it's a near thing. So you may have to back up and you know, but you know that uses up turns. So you know, to get your 10 turns, you have to be pushing forward aggressively, or as aggressively as you can. So what we're going to do, we're going to soften up this guy with Holy Word. This will also heal. So top off Landius over here. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And also topped off Freya over there on the right, but we're not too worried about that. So you see he's slightly damaged, but not too bad. Alright, let's for the sake of completeness, let's go ahead and finish discussing what's happening over here. So we're gonna have Matthew take care of this guy here. I use Air Slash. There's no point saving it because it's hard for him. He's not going to be able to. Matthew has a disadvantage against the cavalry, obviously. By the time this spearman gets over here, his Air Slash should be back up. So we'll just use Air Slash, hopefully to kill him. Alright, so as I say, he's going to get hit pretty hard by that cavalry. His guard is still up, so that's a little bit of defense. He's got United Will, so that's a little bit more defense. He's not quite full health, but hopefully he will live. Meanwhile, over here, we want to... So we could lightning him, and then go here, and then lightning him. Sort of the issue I have with that is that I might be slightly damaged after lightning on him, and that might cause me to not be able to one-shot this cavalry. So just to be on the safe side, we're going to use lightning speed on the cavalry. That should take him out. It did. Even if this doesn't take him out, it did. So you see we're how damaged we are even after the regen. She might not have been able to one-shot cavalry if the catapult if we did it this way. And since Freya's movement but debuffed, that's the other thing. If Sherry ended her turn over here, she you know. Well, I guess that's technically in guard range, so whatever. But we don't need to use guard because Sherry got both of them. Here's the scary part. He's alive. He has a whole 1,000 hit points left. So we don't want to step over here because that'll draw the other cavalry, which will be a painful experience. So can't always take this guy out, but sometimes I can. We can afford to give up United Will turn, so we'll do it from over here. Alright, So you notice at the beginning of the battle I stepped Freya up 1 square. So now Freya
どうかしましたか?
move over 3 and guard.
これでいいですか? 行くわよ!
If you don't step to the north 1 square at the beginning of the battle, you'll be short 1 square for doing this. So now Sherry will pull this cavalry. What's going to happen is both of these will aggro. The cavalry will go to the right. The ballista will go to the left, even though nobody's within range over here. And then she will regen up to more or less full. We have this spearman coming as well that we're going to need to deal with.
Minna, もっと頑張れ! 行くぞ!
何かお手伝いできることありますか?
行くぞ!
Okay, so one thing that is helping us out, this normally would be very dangerous because he can put a real hurt on him, even if he's attacking and he's defending. But this guy hasn't guarded yet. But he will guard after, or I don't know what order they move in, but he will guard him instead of attacking this turn. So we can move up on them aggressively. And it will be, should be fine, hopefully. So we move up. Matthew, we have him. He's in the guard because I would rather him take the ballista shot or the catapult shot rather than Matthew.
言うだけ無駄だ。これを食らえ。
行くわよ。まあ。
Freya's movement debuffed again, doesn't matter.
ここ。
Like I say, this should be a bad choice, but he's not going to come here. And he's gonna guard instead of punching Landius in the face. Hopefully. Sometimes the AI does crazy stuff, so. There he goes, he guards. Alright, we want to think about moving them down the hall because we're on turn 5, so we're halfway to our 10 turns. So, like I say, you have to keep moving aggressively. So what we're gonna do is, well, he's got one more turn on his faction buff this turn, but he can refresh it, but we just don't have time to do that right now. So
戦いはまだ終わっていない。油断するな。行くぞ。
Well, I guess I should mention I have boots of speed on Matthew. That's why he's able to move 4. Let's go here. Like I said, Air Slash is back. This probably won't one-shot him, but
みんなもっと頑張
何かお手伝いできることあります
Holy
か
Word should finish this guy off.
みんなもっと頑張れ
Yeah, his guard is still up for one more turn. So even if he doesn't one-shot this guy, he normally doesn't.
行くわよ
We're still good. All right. So I mentioned earlier.
どうかしましたか
Oh, well, Freya's guard is down, so we're not going to pull this turn. If you want to be super aggressive, you can go ahead and pull. I'm going to pull next turn instead of this time. That will give these guys at least one more turn to get down the hall. But Freya can't quite get, because as soon as I end her turn, her guard buff will drop. So. Unfortunately, we can't pull it this time, but we will get ready to do that next time. These people should still be guarded. Yep, and now you get to see United Will. Rock should finish them off.
戦いはまだ終わっていない油断するな
Alright. So, like I say, well, okay, so you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going for the 3 stars complete within 15 turns, or for the 10 turns feat? If you're just going for the 15 turns, then you can wait for these people to get all the way over here before you engage on that. If you want the 10 turns, you pretty much have to go at this point. This turn 6, you cannot wait any longer beyond that. So we're gonna go ahead and pull. We have Sherry stand here.
戦いはまだ終わっていない
どうかしましたか
Freya will guard, so Freya will take a full strength hit from this infantry. Of course, infantry have priority over spearmen. There's just no way around. I mean, if you have a different type of tank, that might work better. But Freya is able to. Well, Freya has a lot of defense, so she is able to survive this hit.
これでいいですか
戦いはまだ終わっていない油断するな
One would hope anyway, right?
行くぞ
Since nothing's going on right now, we don't need to recast the faction buff yet. We're going to move Matthew here. We're going to move Landius there. But Landius needs a heal before he runs off.
戦いはまだ終わっていない
何かお手伝いできることありますか
Here I'm able to heal him. If I ran down the hall, I wouldn't be able to, so...
よろしくお願いしますね
戦いはまだ終わっていない油断するな
There we go. We don't really need United Will, so it's good to get into the habit of
かわいそうな人
keeping it up. Heavy shield is always nice for this hit. We got lucky with the heavy shield, and
これが
unlucky with
私の信じる心です
sunshade. Hopefully, so
みんなもっと頑張れ
one nice thing about pulling them instead of charging them. Frequently they will waste act again. You saw it happen right there. They don't always do that, but it's pretty common for them to waste act again that way. So something to be aware of. Now let's see. I think what I normally do is I will back up a bit. Trying to decide if I want to do it differently, but yeah, I normally will back up simply because that will work better. It's turn 7, so we have 7, 8, 9, and 10. You know, we're still okay on time. Okay. So.
まあ
What we want is for him to attack and for the infantry to attack and Landius to guard. So we can stand here. Jessica can't quite reach him. Like sometimes casters will have spells that will go a little bit beyond her range, but she doesn't. All of her spells are range, same range as her normal nuke. So
まあ
we can have Freya stand there.
みんなもっと頑張れ。言うだけ無駄だ。これを食らえ。
行くわよ
We want to back up as well because we want to get Almeida and Matthew engaged in the battle as well. So backing up a little bit is a good idea. Don't want Sherry to get annihilated by these two, especially Lana over here. They make quick work of Sherry. Lana does have a powerful AoE, but she's pretty far away, so she might. I don't think she can get to us right now. If we can take one of them out before we get annihilated by Heaven's sanction, that would be fine with me. So we're gonna stand
行くぞ
there.
何かお手伝いできることありますか
Almeida. Freya at this
行くぞ
point. Not really. Freya's not going to do a whole lot. She's just bait for this guy to come up and get wrecked by Landius. Now is a good time to recast the faction or the fusion buff.
正確に
Let's see how this goes. So far, so good.
かわいそうな人
She does have holy word, but she doesn't have the heal.
人思考そして
And Lana, you know,
みんなもっと頑張れ。
has various stuff. All right.
行くぞ
So Jessica has Lancer soldiers. Obviously, that's a bad matchup for Landius. I mean, obviously, but
行くぞ
Matthew is a great matchup for that. Now, Air Slash. It's a powerful thing. It's 1.5 damage. And it's a ranged thing, but you don't have to use it at range. You can use it point blank. In fact, whenever you're just as a pro tip, you're fighting caster, you should generally prefer to do it this way, to use it point blank, and just use it to increase your damage. This will probably not one shot her. I can't remember. I don't think it does, but it does hurt her pretty good.
戦いはまだ終わっていない。油断するな。
All right. So Sherry, it would be really nice if Sherry could fly up, kill Jessica, Wild Princess, one shot Lana. That would make things so much simpler. It doesn't happen that way.
行くわよ
It is unfortunately it doesn't. That's the sad truth of the matter. So what we do instead, we will kill Jessica. Yeah. So as you see, we actually really did kill Jessica. So let's get that cursed.
なになに
Push him off.
戦いはまだ終わっていない。
ここ
Mass heal obviously would be helpful here, because a lot of people need healing. They're gonna need healing again anyway when she annihilates us with Heaven's Sanction. But we have one boss down, so we're not bad. We're not too bad off right now.
よろしくお願いしますね
戦いはまだ終わっていない。油断するな。
What's the span on Heaven's Sanction? I think it's like 5. Yeah, so it doesn't matter where I stand Landius. Blast me with it. So
戦いはまだ終わっていない。油断するな。
might as well put him as aggressively as I can and still keep the United Will.
どうかしましたか
She has yet to move as well. You'll see that her damage is basically negligible at this point anyway, so it doesn't matter that much. But whatever. Maybe she cast Holy Word instead of Heaven's Sanction. That was an interesting choice.
戦いはまだ終わっていない。油断するな。
ここ 行くよ
みんな、もっと頑張れ。
Alright, so as I'm sure everyone knows, the AI sometimes does slightly different things, so you won't be able to. It isn't going to be exactly the same every time, so you just have to make adjustments. And now I'm trying to decide if I want to use this. This is a stun that also does more damage. It's okay. Does not do more damage. It's a stun and also pushes them back. I don't like the push back effect. Although this they won't always be standing in a way that this will work, but well, that's handy when that happens, right? Unfortunately, Wild Princess is down, but that's okay.
まあ
See, that was basically nothing.
行くぞ
行くわよ
Neither of them can reach. She might get a Gale proc. Usually she won't.
行くぞ
And this is round 9. So round 10 is going to be the key. So as long as we get her in this round, and we're close enough to be able to attack Liana, we should be good on time. And we won't have any trouble killing this person. Matthew should get her. Yep.
行くわよ
Sunshade is always nice when it procs. He still had United Will. United Will lasts a little while, so it did some damage to
戦い
her.
はまだ終わっていない。油断するな。
Unfortunately, he's now too far away to get
ここここ
heal from her, or she can passively heal. I don't think this is close enough for a quip.
みんな、
Nope,
もっと頑張れ。
that didn't do a whole lot. But whatever, we're good.
行くぞ
行くわよ
Yeah, we should.
Iksa!
Matthew and Sherry should be able to take her out. Fusion buff is still active.
戦いはまだ終わっていない。油断するな。
何何
This rail is out of the way. You would think a flyer would be able to fly over this rail, but whatever. So there you go. It's turn 10 now. It's kind of close, but not really, because Sherry can hit pretty hard, especially with lightning speed.
これが光の末裔の最後か。これで一つの時代が終わったのだろう。
It's the end of the Descendants of Light. I mean, not really, because Elwyn is still alive, and Leon is. I think Leon is a Descendant of Light. He can wield the Langrisser, so that means he's a Descendant of Light, right? I don't know. Whatever, we're gonna skip that. Who cares? That's not why people watch this stuff. Well, nobody watches this stuff, but if people watched this stuff, the story would not be why people watch this stuff. So that was obviously 3 stars because it was only 10 rounds, as you saw. So there you go. Not too difficult. I mean, obviously the bosses sometimes do different stuff. Lana, she chose to attack with Holy Word instead of having Sanction. Either way, that wouldn't have changed the strategy that much. Mass heal would be helpful too. I like meditation because it makes the single target heal better. It also makes Holy Word better. But whatever. That's the way I do it. And so even if you don't do it exactly the way I do it, you might be able to pick up some tips and tricks, steal certain techniques that I use to make this fight easier. Because this one is actually not too hard once you have the idea of how to approach it. Anyway, that's enough of me for one day. So I'm going to leave it there. Good luck with Time Rift 5.7. Thanks for watching.